Hey everyone, Eric here. So today we're gonna be filling this bunker silo. We are almost ready to go. We just gotta get the plastic over the walls. We got the harvest crew showing up in about an hour. So I have my buddy Mike helping and my two sisters. We're gonna get this plastic rolled out, pulled up over the walls.
Which side do we want up?
Okay, so you can get that Kubota and back it right to the end of the wall here, and then you can stand on it. So we're rolling the plastic out on the outside of the wall, and then we're just gonna pull it up over and down the other side and leave the rest sitting on the ground here until we're done. This bunk has 8-foot walls and it's 42 feet wide, 130 feet long. So we should be able to fit about 1,200 tons in here or so.
Black or white?
Black is gonna be facing up. We're gonna go down onto the floor actually this year, go a little farther, like 2 feet out onto the floor. So we're hanging plastic on the walls before we fill, so that once the bunk's full, it'll be full up to here. We can just fold this plastic up over and it'll just seal up that corner really nice. And you also have, just on the walls, there's some cracks in them, like the seams between the walls like this. You can get some air coming through there, so this will help just keep all the oxygen out. We wanna keep the feed quality as good as we can. Okay, so Mike, pull on it now. Let's get it tight. Let's pull it tight. So this is all the silage we have left from last year's crop. Very close to the end. It's good we're harvesting. We actually did make an ag bag last week, so we're starting to feed out of that as well. It's just right out there. So we got the sides done. Now we just gotta put one on the back and we're ready to go. So in the past we had brought this plastic down just to the kind of the bottom of the wall. This year we're actually bringing it onto the floor, and that way it's so that if water ends up coming down the outside of the plastic, it can drain out the end without getting into the feed. We were told that works, so we're gonna try that.
Is it the good kind?
You didn't bring me one?
Well, I wasn't sure if you had one already. I'll
Thank
go get
you.
one for Nelson.
It's the perfect beverage for our hard work.
We worked for like 15 minutes. So we got the plastic on the side walls, and then once we're done, we're gonna put this big piece on top. So this is a Silage stop oxygen barrier plastic. It's a higher quality, and we're gonna be putting that on last. All right, we're good to go. Attaboy, Mike. The harvest crew should be here in 10 minutes or less. The plan is for the first load just to come down along the side and get them to run it right out along here, and it'll hold the plastic down nice. We pay a crew to come in and do our harvesting, so they have a chopper, and then they're gonna have 3 or 4 wagons today hauling it in, and then they also brought a case with a blade on it to push up. So we're gonna also have our tractor packing then, but we're not gonna be pushing the feed up with ours. This machine is chopping it off 8 inches off the ground, taking the entire stalk and just grinding it up. So we're getting the stalk, the leaves, and the ear. The kernels of corn are in there. Some tall corn here. It's good looking stuff. So they're chopping now. The first load's on its way in. We were hoping to get them to run out that front part along the sidewall, but it would take them about 10 minutes to switch the machine over to turn towards the front. We're just gonna have to use the skid loader to put the feet on the sidewall plastic. So what we want to check now is how well the corn is processed. So it's got the grain going through the chopper. It's chopping everything up and then running it through a big roller inside of the machine and destroying the kernels. So we don't want to see any whole kernels. You can adjust the harvester and make it roll it better if we're not happy with it. I'm gonna go grab some breakfast and then I'm gonna come out and we'll put our tractor on. So I got the weight on this tractor already. I'm gonna run a second rig just packing. The reason we want to make sure the kernels are crushed is because there's energy in those kernels, but the cows, if they're whole and not crushed up, they'll just pass right through the cow without them absorbing much out of them. So try to crush them, that way the cows can get all the energy they can out of them. So I'm running the packer tractor now. So now that we got some loads in, this is the 20th load coming in. He's kind of built a wedge and he's spreading out about 6-inch layers and then we're packing them real good. We're still getting it done. I'm fueling up the tractor. I wanted to have this full when I started, but I kind of forgot about it. The more weight, the better. So, you know, 50 gallons of fuel, that adds up to a good amount of weight. So we might as well keep it full. So the more weight we can get on that bunk, the better. Lately, I've been eating more food, drinking more soda, whatever I can do to help the farm. It's just important for profitability. So I sacrifice every day, try and drink at least a couple sodas. Now they're cutting in the field right across from the home farm. And you can see they split down the middle there. The corn on the left, if you can't tell, is a little bit greener. That was planted May 27th, and the corn on the right that they're cutting was planted May 5th. So for those of you who aren't familiar with what corn silage is used for, this is the main ingredient in our dairy cow feed ration, and it feeds really well. It's a high yielding crop. And the variety we're planting here is a BMR. So it's designed to be higher digestibility than a conventional corn. Basically, the stalk of this plant would be a little bit more digestible. There's more of the soft fiber in it, and the cows can get more nutrients out of it. Generally, we expect a little lower yields with this type of corn, but we make up for it with higher milk production from the cows. This corn was planted no-till, so we had a cover crop in over the winter. We had sprayed, hauled manure on it, and then just came in with the planter. 30-inch rows at about 31,000 seeds per acre or so. my dad put a sample on the moisture tester and came out at 66.5% moisture. That's right where we want it. We're shooting for right around 65 to 68%. We're starting to learn with more experience kind of when the feed's ready to cut, and it's getting a little bit easier for me to kind of recognize it. So this is encouraging to know we got this one right. So I got Dad with me here to supply some extra weight. They're doing a good job.
Hey, everybody.
So I guess you can't be running the tractor.
No, I can't shift very good with my right arm. I don't think it would go so well.
So I was just packing away. My Uncle Nelson pointed to the front and said there's an oil leak up there. So that's not a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I see it moving. So where does that go?
It's fixable, but it might be a bit of a project to get the hose out and replace it. And it's Labor Day today, so I'm not sure if we can even get another hose. We're gonna rent this Massey Ferguson to run on the weight for today. We actually had used the same tractor last year. We had another issue with our 7250. It's funny because that 7250 is pretty reliable in general, but it seems like when we go to fill the bunkers, it has issues, which doesn't really make sense because it's a pretty easy job just driving back and forth slowly. All right, we're gonna hook up to this weight. Back to packing. At this point, they're right around 65 or 67 loads in the bunk. Starting to fill up. There's a good amount of space there in the front. So we're just working at the slow job of packing it in as the loads come in. The goal is to get a wedge built, which he has there, and then as the load comes in, he just spreads it out 4 to 6 inch thickness, and then we can pack it down. And we want to make sure we have enough weight on there, and we like to have two tractors so we can cover the surface well. And it seems to work really well with 2 tractors on this bunk. So we need to compress the oxygen out of the feed. If you just pile it, it would just spoil and mold on us. The tractor we're using there has a 5,000 pound weight on it, and it looks like the weight's bigger on the other tractor. I'm not sure how much that one weighs. As the loads come in, they always back in and dump right in front of the tractor that's just doing the packing. Once the load is empty, I'll switch over to the other side, and then the guy with the push blade will come in and push it up. And so we'll just flip back and forth each load. One of the keys to getting it packed right is just having the right ratio of weight on the pile to how fast the feed is coming in. I'm not sure what size his chopper is compared to other ones. I don't think he has the biggest one, but it does move pretty quick. He's got an 8-row head on it. Some of our fields are smaller, so it kind of slows him down. We have a couple guys packing right now, so I'm gonna be able to mix feed. They'll soon be done and we can cover it. Shouldn't be too late tonight. That'll be nice. So I'm finishing up with the feeding now. Still feeding a little bit of silage out of this last bunk. Not much left at all. I got half the silage out of that last bunk there, and the other half we're gonna get out of this ag bag we had made 10 days ago now. So we're mixing it a little bit. This is what it'll look like. That green feed will ferment, turn into this. The feeding is finished, and they're actually getting closer to being done now. Kind of cleaning up the corners, getting the edges ready. Pretty much done pushing up on top now. They're just gonna push some at the front. We got about 8 loads coming yet. We got the last load coming in right now. We don't like to make the bunks crazy full because we want to be able to pack the whole way to the edge. We're just doing our final packing. Turned out it was 85 loads, so it was a little less than I was maybe hoping for, but it's pretty much full. We're happy with it. Still solid yields. But yeah, we're just packing over everything one more time, and then we're gonna cover it. They pushed a little bit of silage off the back wall. We're pulling that plastic up first. They're gonna fold that in, and then we're gonna clean this mess up a little bit. All right, we're about ready to get started. So we got lots of help. Right? You gonna help? Okay, we're about ready to pull the plastic up over. Look at this guy, white t-shirt.
Hi, Ethan.
All right, so we had the drone up. We made a mistake. It wasn't recording, but we pulled the 2 side pieces of plastic over and just covered it. And they pulled to the center, just barely overlapped in the center. So you can see it right there. We taped them a little bit in the center just to hold them together so they don't slide down. So you can see what this did on the sidewall. It just sealed this up really nice. That's why we like to set that plastic out beforehand so we get that corner sealed up really good. And now we're gonna go ahead and put the top cover on. So we have one big piece, and it's the silo stop oxygen barrier plastic, so it's a better quality plastic. Now we're opening up the top cover. We're gonna roll it out over the bunk, and this is gonna spread out over the whole surface. So we will have 2 layers of plastic over everything. So we're gonna go ahead and put some sandbags on and then lay tires over everything. Bunker silos do take some more work than, say, an upright silo would, but it is kind of fun to work together and have a bunch of people help out, throwing tires and pulling the plastic out. I kind of look forward to that job, to be honest. Now I'm in the skid loader because we didn't have anyone else to run it, so I had to just sit there and be lazy. But they're just laying the sandbags out along the side. This will just hold the plastic down good at the edges and just make sure we have them sealed up. The tires we're using here are just normal car tires that are cut in half. We had rented a machine that cut them a long time ago when we built these bunks. And we don't really like these as much because they're smaller. Now we like to get the truck sidewall tires that are a little bit bigger and lighter. I'm just getting scoops out of the pile and bringing them over, letting them do all the work. We like to cover every inch with the tires, not leave any gaps, just to make sure we're holding that plastic down, not letting any air get underneath it. So everyone we have helping, I should mention them all. We have my brother Ethan in the white shirt, my two sisters Chelsea and Cassidy, my wife Emily, my buddy Mike, and then two of our other employees, Tanner and Ethan, which you might have seen them before. And then we are going to get some help from Caleb as well. All right, we're done. So now today we're just going along. We just went along with the skid loader and cut the extra plastic off the side. I'm gonna go across the back, and then we'll go ahead and put dirt across the front edge just to seal that up. Put about just over 1,100 tons in this bunk. It's gonna make good feed, I believe. If you liked the video, make sure you hit the like button. And yeah, I really appreciate you watching. We'll see you.